Okay, I'm going to try and show you the little nuances of scanning and saving these patterns. Now first, I've got my mat loaded. I'm not going to show you that. That's simple enough. Everybody knows how to load a mat. Alright, now so what we want to do is we want to scan what's on the mat. And we're going to scan to cut data. And if you're using a black and white pattern, use this mode. If you're using a colored pattern, use the colored mode. Okay? Now we're going to start the scan. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. But I'm going to try and cover them all right here, right now. Okay, now it's going to recognize what I just scanned. Now, if you'll notice, I took two of the pieces off of Genoveve's Freebie Friday book, and I cut them out, and I put them on a piece of white paper just so that I could space them out, I'll show you in a minute, and get individual files. That way I can take one piece and I can put that on the file. Now it's recognized the file, so what I'm going to ask it to do is outline this. And it's going to process it again. And I'm going to separate these. You take these little arrows and you move them to crop it as close as you can. And bring this one in as well. Now we're going to preview what it looks like. Looks pretty good. So we're going to save it. And it's going to ask us where to save it. I'm going to save this to the machine. I have my USB on here, but I save on the machine. Okay, and it's telling me it's scan number 87. Now, here's where the magic happens. We're going to scan the other part all by itself too. And that way we have two separate files and we can use these on two separate pieces of paper. Let's make sure we get this moved in right. As close as we can. Now we're going to ask for the outline again. And we're going to save this one as well. Well, I think I'm going to move this a little further. Okay, we're going to preview it. And we're going to save it. And we're going to save it to the machine. You can save them to your USBs if you'd like. And this one's number 88. Okay, so now we're going to go back home, and it's going to say, delete all patterns. Yes, it's not deleting them off your machine, it's removing them from your screen. Now, I'm going to set this up with some scraps of paper that I have here. And this is kind of the neat part because you can use all your scraps. You don't have to have full sheets. But with the ScanNCut, you can use your 40 or 24 by 24 papers and move things around to where you want them to scan a rose, scan a horse, scan whatever. Now we're going to pick a pattern because we've saved this to the machine. We're going to use saved data. We saved it to our machine. And we're going to scroll. You see I have a lot of them. Okay. I missed it. There we go. Here's 86 and 87. These are the ones that I just scanned. So let's pick 87. Oops. Let's pick 88. And now we're going to say, okay, now if you don't want it to be okay, you can edit this and move it around, but we won't do that right now. Because what we want to do is we want to scan our mat again. And this is going to show us exactly where the paper and all the patterns are. Now you'll notice that I used some pretty scrappy scraps. Okay, so I want this one to go up over here. Now let's add one. because we want to use up some of this other space. So we're going to go add, we're going to go to save data again, we're going to go to the machine again, and let's pick something smaller. Let's pick this one. Nope, not going to fit. All right, so let's find something smaller. Let's pick this one. Okay, now what we're going to do on this one is move it right here. We'll go, okay. And we can just cut that if we'd like, but what we're going to do is go back and we're going to add another piece. And we're going to go to Save Data, Machine, let's pick this one. And we're going to take this one, oh, okay, and we're going to move this. Now, if this looks like it's a little too close, or not close enough to the edge, or not far enough down or up, we can go to Edit, and we can go here, and we can move it sideways, and that's good. And then we go OK. Now if we want to change the size, we can go here, and I can change this either by doing this, making it bigger, and you'll notice that it does it incrementally with both width and height at the same time. So it's keeping your proportions right. That's good. Now we hit OK. Okay, let's back up. We don't like that piece there. We're going to trash it. And it's going to take that right out of there. And then we can go, let's see, OK. And then we can go Add, Save Data, again. I don't know what these are, but we'll pick one. That's OK, and we're going to move it. Okay. Now we've got our mat, we've got a position, we know what we're doing. We're going to hit cut. And I am not going to hit cut because I really don't want to cut these pieces up tonight. But that's pretty much the way that I do these things. If I go back, I can go home. It's going to delete all of that. I say OK because my patterns are still in there. Now, what happens if we get a really awful scan? Let's find a pattern that I haven't cleaned up yet. And we're going to, I'm pretty sure I have one that I didn't clean up. This one, perfect. All right, this is good. Okay, now, you see that this line stayed right where it's at. Now that's going to cut if I leave it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, I'm going to edit, I'm going to throw that in the trash can. Okay, now I want to do this, and I can zoom in, and it's looking pretty good. So we're just going to say OK, and we're going to go back, and it's taken that little piece of yuck out of there. And if you find other pieces in here, you can do the same thing. Okay? So I think that's about it for now. There's a lot more, but this is basically how I've been doing it. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.